But to make up for that, I have a tequila song. If you drink enough tequila, you will become an honorary Mexican. And may be stopped for identification. Well, you know what I always say, everybody is either a little bit Jewish or a little bit Mexican. This one's for my friends, Jack and Aggie, who have been great supporters of me. And for all my friends. A poem for my hat. Today, I want to wear a hat. Step out on my porch in a friendly floppy one and wave hello to the world. Or maybe a mysterious fedora, brim down low, investigate the missing brown buffalo. Perhaps a Greek fisherman's hat, a song to the briny deep, the sirens and mermaids at my shoulder, rocking me. Oh, a big old Mexican sombrero would do, with silver threads along the brim that would hurt because of you. A tropical white Panama, woven by 100-year-old hands with a parrot feather on the band, and I'll dance some slick mambos. I could sport a crazy cat hat with balloons and milagritos on the crown and stroll down Mission Street, leading a lobster on a leash. I could style a brown beret, cocked over angry eyebrow, and shout, "Power to the people," and other slogans I forget. Maybe I'll try a cloud with a blue ribbon tied around it like a song, or none of that. Today, I'm going to wear the sky as my hat, and then I'll pass it on to you, so you can wear it too. So I want to mention briefly some of the projects that I would like to do as the Poet Laureate, because the Poet Laureateship, in fact, belongs to all of you. And so the Poet Laureate is, in fact, yourselves. You are the Poet Laureates. Very general terms, right? I would like to initiate a campaign. I've talked to a lot of people already. A lot of people have approached me with projects, ideas, all of them beautiful, all of them wonderful. I encourage all of you to pick up the batuta, the baton, and you run with it. Yeah? I'm only one person, but as a community, we're very large. And so these are some of the projects that have come to me and that I've encouraged to go forward, naming, for example, San Francisco as the city of poets would be nice. Poetry festivals for young people, 14 and under, more Floricanto festivals, right? Poetry in public places. We would like to initiate a campaign of poetry in bus stops, on walls, on the steps of North Beach, murals, everywhere that people congregate. We would also, I have big dreams sometimes, we'd like to have poetry workshops in all levels of government, right? Beginning with the Board of Supervisors, right? That the politicians in our city learn to be true to the word, right? To speak it truthfully and honestly, and that maybe perhaps in the future the mayor and our elected officials will also be judged by the beauty of their haikus, right? By the wit of their epigrams. And so these are some of the projects I would like, but also I want to mention, I don't know if some of you, before the event opened the doors, if you saw a man out there in the lobby, this big, huge brown buffalo of a man hanging out there. I got a chance to say hello to him. That was Oscar Zeta Acosta, the brown buffalo. He's been on his brown buffalo run for a while. Hey, Oscar, man, you gonna stick around? He's on the run. I think he was headed over to 16th and Valencia, where the other project that I want to create is a series of plaques to honor literary events and literary figures throughout San Francisco. And I would like to start at the Hotel Royan, the Mission's finest, where Oscar Zeta Acosta wrote one of the great novels of United States literature. And I'm talking about The Revolt of the Cockroach People. And this poem begins by invoking three poets from that neighborhood, and the poem is called 16th and Valencia. I saw Jack Michelin on the corner of 16th and Valencia reciting Skinny Dynamite, and he was angry. And the next day, he was dead on the last BART train to Concord, and maybe that's why he was angry. I met Harold Norris shuffling around in a beaten world, his pockets stuffed with poems only hipsters read. It's a cesspool out here, he sighed, before returning to his room in the Albion Hotel, where angels honeycomb the walls with dreams, and the rent is paid with angry poems. And I heard Oscar Zeta Acosta's brown buffalo footsteps pounding the Valencia corridor, and he was shouting poetry at the sick junkies nodding with their wasted whores in the lobby of the Hotel Royan, the Mission's finest, and even the furniture was angry. And I joined the waiters at the bus stop, the waitresses, the norteño trios, the flower sellers, the blind guitarists wailing boleros at a purple sky, the shirtless vagrant vagabond ranting at a parking meter, the spray paint visionary setting fire to the word. And I knew this was the last call. We were tired of living from the scraps of others. We were tired of dying for our own chunk of nothing. And I saw this barrio as a freight train, a crazy Mexican bus careening out of control, a mutiny aboard a battleship, and every porthole filled with anger. And we were going to stay angry. And we were not leaving, not ever leaving. El corazón de la misión. El camino real ends here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind and generous. Byron says not to applaud, but to throw money at the library. But I'm the poet laureate, not just of the mission, not just of the Latino community, the Bayview, the Bernal Heights, the Outer Mission, but of the entire city. And I embrace all its poetic traditions and its history, and they have influenced me so much. And one of those poets that influenced me when I was still very young was the African-American poet, author of Golden Sardine and Ancient Rain, one of the great figures, I think, and a forgotten figure, I think, of the literary history of San Francisco. And I'm talking, of course, about Bob Kaufman, yeah. And I was fortunate enough to meet him several times. Once during that period when he had taken a vow of silence, a Buddhist vow of silence, for 10 years in protest to the Vietnam War. And I know a lot of politicians I wish would take a 10-year vow of silence. The eyes of the poet for Bob Kaufman. Corrugated iron panels stamped on your forehead, your eyes 2 pennies rattling in a blind man's cup. Yet once the sharpest beat on the scene of New York tenement parties, and later tales of Tangiers, white slavery, amphetamine dreams, snow in August, jazz, jazz on your breakfast plate, and jailhouse riffs etched with a silver razor, and somehow a busted nose, and then named Prince of Poetry, a black rimmed bow sailing a bamboo raft into exile and silence, a baby Buddha perched on your shoulders, blowing a saxophone dirge down your river Nile.